March 2011. Japan suffers a huge earthquake, triggering a massive tsunami. One of the world's most advanced nations teeters on the brink of collapse. This is a minute-by-minute account of events. We reveal the actual sound of the quake and explore the future threat. Which earthquake zone is next? One of our planet's most volatile regions is the Pacific Ring of Fire, a continuous fracture in the Earth's crust which circles the Pacific Ocean. At 2:45 p.m. on March the 11th, 80 miles off Japan, one section of this fault is about to rupture. Downtown Tokyo, the largest city in the world. 35 million people are going about their daily lives. There is no sense of what's about to happen. But 80 miles out in the Pacific Ocean, and 20 miles down inside the Earth's crust, the Pacific Plate is being forced down underneath Japan. Solid rock twists and cracks. The stresses build up in the system until something snaps. In Tokyo, seismic data streams into the country's earthquake monitoring HQ. People in Sendai are among the first to feel the tremors. It is so big that it tilts the world 25 centimeters on its axis and slows the Earth's rotation to shorten our days by a fraction of a second. In Japan, the earthquake even rattles the most safely guarded installations. Just 90 miles from the fault line stands Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. With electricity cables damaged, emergency systems kick into action, engaging backup diesel generators for power, and beginning the shutdown sequence for the plant's 3 active nuclear reactors. But 80 miles out to sea, the earthquake has unleashed an even more terrifying force, and it's rippling outwards at 500 miles per hour. Japan is reeling from the largest earthquake to strike it for 1,000 years. It's only the 5th magnitude 9 tremor in recorded history. But one thing scares the Japanese even more: a tsunami tidal wave. And this is exactly what the quake triggered. When the Earth ruptured, 250 miles of ocean floor thrust upwards over 3 meters. It displaced 100 billion cubic meters of water in the ocean above, causing a surge that initially travels at 500 miles per hour. At Sendai Tsunami Warning Center, the alarm sounds. The race is on to find out the size of the oncoming wave. 3 miles out to sea, the Coast Guard filmed the first breathtaking sight of the tsunami. On land, everyone is still recovering from the earthquake. They have less than 30 minutes before the big waves start to hit. And there's another danger. Parts of the Japanese coast have sunk 1 meter lower, meaning that the impact of the tsunami will be even greater. When the tsunami approaches land, it slows dramatically. But as the sea becomes shallower, the waves rise higher and higher, reaching up to 14 meters tall. As the clock ticks towards 3:20, the biggest waves start pounding the coast. Hundreds capture the moment on camcorders and camera phones. In the port of Shiogama, the sea erupts. For this car and the occupants, there's no escape. "80 miles up the coast in Kamaishi, millions of cubic meters of water are forced through streets just 10 meters wide. The narrow channels accelerating the speed of the flow. In Kesennuma, one eyewitness video shows town becomes sea inside 4 minutes. "15 seconds, road becomes river. 1 minute 20 seconds, a warehouse weighing thousands of tons is picked up like a rag doll. Stop! 2 minutes, he spots a person in the water. It's a flood of truly biblical proportions. Just 3 minutes, 15 seconds after it started, the torrent has reached the 3rd floor, over 8 meters high. By 3:55 p.m., the tsunami reaches Arahama. At 3:57, the water pours into Sendai Airport, 1 mile inland. The tsunami wave doesn't stop until it reaches 6 miles inland. Japan has suffered 2 deadly blows. First, earthquake, and then tsunami. The 3rd disaster is about to strike, as the nation faces potential nuclear meltdown.
現在、撮影機が、撮影しているのは、3号路。
At 3:42 p.m., just 56 minutes after Japan is rocked by one of the top 5 earthquakes in recorded history, the tsunami wave approaches Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. Inside are 3 active nuclear reactors. Diesel generators are pumping water around the reactors to cool the nuclear fuel rods. But to remain operational, These generators must stay dry. The plant is protected by sea walls 5.7 meters high. But they are no match for the 14-meter wave.
大きな津波が迫っています。まもなく捉えました。
Filmed just after the wave has hit, this remarkable video shows the damage. Swamped by the wave, the diesel generators are destroyed. Now, there is just one backup cooling system left. Battery-operated pumps. But they only have an 8-hour charge, and the clock is ticking. While Fukushima edges towards nuclear meltdown, across Japan's east coast, people are fighting for their lives. At its highest measured point, the tsunami reached 38 meters above sea level. For many, helicopters offer the only escape route from their island prisons. But Japan's nightmare is about to get even worse. At Fukushima nuclear plant, the battery-operated cooling pumps run out of power. And then, seismic event turns into nuclear catastrophe. An explosion blows the roof off reactor building 1.
3号炉。
2 days later, another explosion hits reactor building 3. With all automatic systems disabled, the authorities have to make a terrifying decision. They must send men into a radioactive zone to manually cool the reactors. The Fukushima radiation leak is eventually given the maximum nuclear disaster rating of 7. The same as Chernobyl. This is the biggest disaster to strike Japan since World War II. And it's an event that has affected the whole Pacific region. 11 hours after the earthquake, the tsunami had crossed the entire Pacific Ocean. Rushing past Hawaii, it traveled nearly 5,000 miles at an average speed of 450 miles per hour, eventually ripping ashore in Santa Cruz, California. If a tremor in Japan can cause this, it's an ominous warning of the seismic threat that lies under America's own coast. As the true nightmare of Japan's earthquake and tsunami emerges, earthquake scientists race to work out the implications of this disaster for the rest of the world. In just over a year, 3 points on the Pacific Ring of Fire have exploded. A possible 4th point in the sequence is the US West Coast. There is now one question on everyone's minds. Over 25 million people live along the Pacific coast of North America. From Mexico in the south to Alaska in the north, the whole region is seismically active. One of the biggest danger zones is in California, where the Ring of Fire runs inland, straight down the San Andreas fault line. Further north, America faces an even greater danger. Lurking just 50 miles off the coast is an active seismic zone known as the Cascadia Fault Line. On this fault line, oceanic crust is diving under continental North America. And here too, the rock is under massive pressure. If it reaches breaking point, the Pacific Northwest could face a similar catastrophe. A terrifying earthquake. Triggering a huge tsunami that would hit the west coast of America in just 25 minutes. The cities of Vancouver and Seattle are right in the firing line. Countries all around the Ring of Fire must first learn from the disaster in Japan. By building stronger sea defenses and learning how to predict earthquakes